Hi everyone and welcome to my place. Today I'm going to show you how to make a calendula oil infused lavender healing balm, which is absolutely delicious. For any of those little scuffs and little scratches and little wee things that you get as you're walking and wandering through life that need just a little bit of soothing and a healing balm. Now I've already shown you how to take the calendula, which we then dried. So here's the lovely dried organic calendula petals, and thank you to Pure Nature for supplying me with these. And what I've done here is I've just got a bottle and I've put a cup of the dried calendula petals into that and 2 cups of really lovely pure organic olive oil or whatever oil you want to use. Now that needs to sit in there for at least 4 to 5 weeks. I like to leave it longer than that just to make sure that all the nutrients from the calendula have gone right into that oil. Right, for the balm, it's really simple, and the great thing about this is I've streamlined everything so that it's really quick and easy to remember. Right, into here, I've got a jug and a double boiler here, and into here I've got half a cup or 2 tablespoons of beeswax into that. Now don't forget that once you've put that into there and it's been sitting there for a good 4 to 5 weeks, give it a good strain so that you're left with this oil down that I've got in here. The longer it's in here, the yellower it will go. Now the other thing is there's a little bit of sediment down there and you might have to just drain that as you go. I've already strained it twice, but there's still a bit of sediment down there, but it's not really going to matter. Okay, into the oil, we're going to put half a cup of the infused oil that goes into the oil. And I've actually melted the beeswax to get us started because it does take a wee while for it to start to melt down. In fact, of all of the oils or the waxes that I've used, I find that this is the hardest to melt down quickly. So I'm just going to put that into there and keep that just simmering away so that that comes back to a nice clear liquid. Into that, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of shea butter or shea butter. That goes into there. I know that there's 2 because I've already measured it out. And also I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and it's very cold here in the studio, so everything's just a little bit colder than I would like it to be. In the summer, this is great, this stuff, because it's that lovely liquid colour. Okay, and the easiest way to get this out too would be to be using a warm spoon. However, I didn't think about that when I started off today, but that's okay. Right, that can go into there, and then 2 tablespoons of organic honey, and I have warmed this spoon, and that will make that much easier to come out. 1, and then 2 goes into there. And this comes from an island here in New Zealand called Great Barrier, and it's got the most beautiful manuka. The bees have been living on manuka, so it's absolutely gorgeous. Right, that just needs to start melting down, and as I said, it's the beeswax that takes the longest, but from here it doesn't take very long at all for it to just all melt down, and I'll just put a bit of heat up onto that. Right, also you need to add into here, oops, I'll get rid of that, I don't want that, a teaspoon of vitamin E, and what's going to happen, the vitamin E is actually going to act as a preservative, and as natural a preservative as I can. Now there are lots of preservatives that you can use, but the vitamin E for me seems to be the one that I prefer to go to. Okay, right, that's all done, get rid of all of that. Now the next thing to go into here, once this is all melted, is going to be, and you do need to let it melt, and once it's melted you need to let it cool down for just a few minutes. You're going to put in 10 drops of lavender, and if you're not sure what lavender does for healing, just go onto the net and do a search, and Dr. Google, he knows everything in there about all the healing properties of lavender. And I'm also going to put in manuka essential oil, and I'm only going to use 5 or 6 drops of that. Do experiment with all of the essential oils, and do remember that if you're breastfeeding or you are pregnant, to be very wary of any essential oils. Another little tip, please don't use an essential oil directly onto your skin because it needs a carrier, because it's far too strong. Right, that's just, that's coming together beautifully, exactly what I wanted to do. And so as I said, there's 10 of lavender and there's 5 of manuka, or manuka as we call it here in New Zealand. Right, we'll just let that melt down just a wee few minutes. So if you go and get a cup of coffee, and by the time you get back, this should be ready to go. Are you ready? Your coffee's probably finished by now. But here it is, and it has to get to this stage so that it looks like runny honey again. And look at how the colour has intensified. Oh, it looks delicious. And it smells amazing with that beautiful organic honey in it. Oh, and I just want to show you another wee thing here. With all of my essential oils, what I've done is, green is my colour of a top note if you're doing any perfume. Yellow or orange is my middle or my heart note, and then my other ones that are my base notes I've coloured red, so that at a glance I know exactly what I'm looking at. Right, so as I said, it is 10 drops of the lavender, 3, 4, 5, right, 10 of those, and of course I measured them perfectly, and then 5, whoops, my little dot came off, 5 to 10 of these, or 5 or 6, but just trial it to just see how much you need. And the other thing that I love about the Manuka is that it's got antibacterial, antifungal and anti-inflammatory properties, so it's a really lovely essential oil to use. 2, 3, 4. Right, done. Put the lid onto that as you go. And what I really love about the Manuka oil is that it's not like, it's not as strong as tea tree oil, but it's sort of, if you can find, it's a leptospermum something, I can't remember what it's called, its botanical name is, but if you can ever get Manuka and squeeze it between your hands, you'll know the smell I'm talking about. Okay, from here, it's just a matter of getting a tin and pouring that into there, including the sediment that's at the bottom, which is the honey, and that'll all infuse there. And then I've got these little tins that I use to just, when I'm out and about, and I want to just have a little healing balm in the car close to me. Right, there we have it. Leave that, turn that off, leave that until it sets, and then you are ready to go. So once that's done, don't forget to put a label on it, and here is some that I did just before, and it's the most wonderful, wonderful healing lotion that you could, just for those little scratches and things and when you're out and about. It's got a beautiful, beautiful smell. So if you need to know more about the essential oils, go to Mr. Google or Dr. Google and have a look for yourself. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say whether it, I don't want to be saying yes you can and no you can't, or, I just don't want to get myself into any kind of bother. So there you have it, a nice, beautiful calendula oil infused with lavender and Manuka essential oils. Beautiful little balm for those scratches. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed sharing it with you, and I will see you again another day. Thanks for watching.